Talk 93.3. Fire up your grills. It's time for Tallahassee Game Day on Warchant TV and Real Talk 93.3.
That pass is intercepted to the delight of all Seminole fans. The pick six.
Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron and Tom Lang bring you the latest news, updates, and analysis around the FSU program ahead of today's kickoff on Bobby Bowden Field.
2nd and 3. Patient and explosive. And a touchdown for the Noles.
Tallahassee Game Day is brought to you by Zaxby's, the official chicken of sports fans. Tallahassee Zaxby's, proudly supporting Florida State University and Seminole boosters for over 15 years. Zaxby's, indescribably good. Now live from Florida's capital city, here's Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron.
It's Game Day. Welcome in. Tallahassee Game Day. Florida State, Miami. Good to be with you. Always. And this, the last home game of the year. How'd that happen, Tom Lang, who's here with me, as always? How in the world did we get to the last home game, and how is it this game with everything on the line? I think most people probably pretty excited about today's game. We'll see you over at the stadium, Bobby Bowden Field and Doak Campbell Stadium, which, by the way, this is going to be a picture-perfect day for football, man. What a perfect moment to rise up and have an opportunity to win a game that Florida State is, again, a slight underdog, but it's Florida State, Miami. We're at home with an opportunity to win a football game. So it's already upon us. Thanks so much for watching. We, as always, want to thank Zaxby's. Pre-game, post-game, no game at all. Anytime is the right time for Zaxby's platters. Feed your team of 12 to 14 with your choice of traditional or buffalo fingers, boneless traditional wings. If you're having trouble deciding, get the best of both worlds with the sampler platter. And don't forget that world-famous Zaxby's sauce. Satisfy your chicken craving today with Zaxby's platters. Or online or through the app, Tallahassee Zaxby's, a proud Seminole booster for over 15 years.
So, man, what's up? I got to tell you, I'm pumped up. This feels a little bit different. This wake up, probably the best I've felt in terms of energy and excitement since Notre Dame.
Oh, wow.
And, well, I don't know. I mean, we didn't win that day. We could win today. Could be interesting, but it's also melancholy. It's just, it goes so fast.
It does.
It does. Every year, when you get to senior day, you're like, man, even when it's a slog, and it has been the last handful of years, even when you go through some things, you miss it even before it's gone. And that's what I feel like today. I'm going to miss this team because I like this group. They represent the helmet very well. They don't, live up to the standard of the wins and losses that we have here in Tallahassee, but they're not capable of doing that. They're doing as much as they possibly can, and they should be saluted for that. And so hopefully they can go out with a bang today.
Yeah, I think you make a good point. We look big picture to start the show. It is Florida State, Miami, which is very specific, but it is the last home game of the year. And you're right. How did it happen? How did it get here so fast? But also they've been a group that you can invest in. And I think that's why we're so hungry, why we're so desperate to see this team get one more reward. I think you said that on the wildly popular Jeff Cameron show, Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 p.m., right here on 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV, is that you'd like to see them rewarded because they have been eminently likable. They're a group that bought in at a time where the program is really down. And you had transfer portal guys come in and buy in and really help set the table, create a culture, which is always really admirable because they're at that point, they're kind of mercenaries. And yet they've done that. They've bought in and they've worked awfully hard and they've set a standard. And then the young guys that do play, and there are a lot of them, obviously, there are some that in 2 years are going to be part of something much bigger, a program that wins 8-9 games. But right now they have to go through this. They have to go through the slog, as you put it. They have to find a way. And they're invested as well. And they're getting better each week. You see that. So you'd like one more time. And what better time than right now for them to get another win, for them to have an opportunity. And today's that day. So, I know this. We don't have to sell hope. We can be honest about what we're evaluating. We can talk about what they are or are not. But Mike Norvell was very impressed with the practices they had this week, and he felt very good. So if you're just tuning in and maybe you're tailgating and maybe you're already over there, that's awesome. You got your Zaxby's. You're ready to sit down, have a couple cold ones, and think about football. They had a good week. They did not have a good week prior to the NC State game. So that's already better, Tom. That's already better. They're already invested. They're already excited. They're already better prepared because everybody could actually practice.
Right, exactly. They didn't have a week period against NC State.
Right.
You know, it's just like who could practice each day was a complete guess. And it was it's where in the first half of that game last week, you can't really hold anything against the coaches or the players because there wasn't the ability to install, to rep stuff together. This week, they're much more like the group that was preceding even Clemson because if you listen to reports around the program, the flu bug actually arrived within that locker room before we went up on the road and played Clemson. Now, it was full-blown a problem last week against NC State, but there were some guys not feeling 100% when we went on the road and played the Tigers. So this is the team that we saw against North Carolina from a health standpoint. That's all the whispers that we get around the program for this week. And just to return to one point, you said we want to see them succeed. It's an important thing. That's not always the case.
Yeah.
Peek behind the window here. As media types, we get a little bit better access and window into who these people are in that building.
Who the guys are,
And some years, when Florida State wins, we're happy for us because we're fans.
Florida State.
We're happy for local businesses.
Yeah.
We're happy for people not on the roster or sometimes not in that coaching staff, right? You're happy for everything around the program, but you don't really root for the people, by and large, who are comprising the victories that you're seeing. This is not the case. This year's group, if they win today, the group that I'm happiest for most are those kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, I think it's a good point because that is true. There have been plenty of teams where you just want them to win for all these ancillary reasons. You want them to win because it's good for business. You want them to win because you love Florida State. You want them to win because obviously it's more fun to talk about teams that win on a consistent basis, to cover those teams, the opportunities that are given when they do win to us in the media. No, you're right. This is a good group. Good group. So, and they've played that way. I don't know. Are they capable today? Yeah, they're underdogs for a reason. Miami probably should win this game. I think if both teams are operating at peak efficiency, you'd say Miami's a better team, primarily because of the quarterback. But, listen, games happen, plays happen, people make up this group. This is a home game. It is a rivalry. That is a freshman quarterback. He's played well, but you don't know. You get into a game like this and something happens early to rattle a player, and all of a sudden you give yourself a great chance. It's not like he's been perfect. He's been a good player. He's a reason for Miami to have hope. But at the same time, I think Florida State can get to him because Miami's offensive line is average. It's not terrible the way it's been the last 2 to 3 years. Florida State's in the same boat there. I think two schools are very, very similar here in that they've built themselves to a place where the offensive lines are average. But Florida State's strength is this front four. So can you get to him? And if you do, all of a sudden you give yourself a chance. And what a day this would be. It's senior day. We talked about this yesterday when we were over at Corner Pocket for the Warchant TV happy hour. And, Corey brought up the point. It's salient. It's senior day. These guys are going to ball. They're going to play hard. They're going to care deeply. It's a rivalry game. Who knows? Like, you get some momentum early. Miami struggled to stop the run. You could win this game.
Yeah, I can tell you, and we could talk about these things openly now because of gambling in the state of Florida being legal. It's a lovely thing.
Yeah.
I jumped on the Miami money line early in the week. I did. I'm a cold-blooded bettor. Now, I'm a Nole through and through, but, these are two different worlds.
Yeah,
right?
You're trying to win games, yeah.
Well, I took the early cash out this morning. I did. I didn't want it.
Man.
I didn't want any of that smoke.
You wanted none of that.
No, because either team could win by multiple scores today, and it wouldn't shock me.
Right.
Because this is going to be a hornet's nest for Miami today.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
And we'll get into some of the details of
how. Are you hearing about how this is nearly a sellout?
Yes. It's trending in the right direction.
Yes.
And these kids love that staff. They play for each other. This is going to be an emotional game. Like, the records may not suggest it, but from our sidelines, it's going to look like a Florida State-Miami game. And for me, that was enough to say, hey, we're healthy. Since we're healthy, I don't know. This could go any which way today, and I cannot wait to watch it.
That is today's top story, and we'll get to it in a moment. Brought to you by Barano Heating and Air Conditioning, a longtime trusted partner of the Jeff Cameron Show. Turn to the experts at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning for all your cooling and heating needs this fall. Head to BaranoAC.com or call 850-580-4029. More Tallahassee Game Day in a moment.
At home. The City of Tallahassee Utilities offers a variety of grants, loans, and rebates to help with energy-efficient upgrades. Adding ambiance outdoors with a natural gas grill? Check talgov.com/u for current rebate offerings. Concerned about cooling your home this summer? The city's ceiling insulation and energy retrofit grants might be able to help. Visit talgov.com/YOU or call the City of Tallahassee Utilities at 850-891-4968 to learn more.
Thank you for calling the Medicare Help Desk. How can we help you?
Hi, can you help me change my prescription drug plan? I don't think my wife and I are getting the right coverage we need right now.
Of course. That's exactly what we are here for. Plus, open enrollment is happening right now, so you've come to the right place at the right time.
Great. It just feels like there are so many options to consider, we don't know where to begin.
Well, don't worry. We know everything there is to know about Medicare, and we will make the process simple and easy for you.
How much is this going to cost me? We live on a fixed income and don't have a lot of wiggle room.
Our consultations are 100% free and cost you nothing.
Wow. Thank you, Medicare Help Desk.
Hi, this is Justin Colvin, founder of the Medicare Help Desk. If you need help navigating the Medicare landscape, I'm easy to find. Just visit the MedicareHelpDesk.com. That's the MedicareHelpDesk.com. Send me a message and I'll help you find the right Medicare coverage.
Here's an important COVID-19 announcement for businesses and schools. Has the COVID-19 pandemic stalled or disrupted your business or normal schedules? Has your revenue dropped drastically? Are your customers anxious about coming back in to shop? Well, we've got great news. Pulse Innovations has developed a thermal system with facial and temperature recognition that can end your troubles right now. Everyone knows that one of the fastest and most reliable ways to identify COVID and other viruses is to detect fever. Our new high-tech development can scan up to 20 people all at once from 10 feet away to provide an immediate reading of those that may have a temperature. The system can give your customers a peace of mind when coming into your business. Call us for free details and a free no-obligation demo. Call right now and get that peace of mind.
800-716-4665. 800-716-4665. 800-716-4665. That's 800-716-4665.
If you're an attorney who struggles with the balance of managing your practice and practicing law, consider Lexicon as your #1 pick. From client intake to billing and all that comes in between, Lexicon doesn't miss a thing. Our comprehensive solution combines best-in-class software and services to take care of your firm's most critical challenges, automating many of the tasks that take time out of your day. It's all about giving you more of your billable hours back. And who doesn't love more revenue? No more searching for practice management that works. Lexicon marks the spot. Visit lexiconservices.com to learn what Lexicon can do for you.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Lane's Medical Shop is proud to announce the opening of their newest location at 800 North Wiley Avenue in Donaldsonville. Lane's Medical Shop, Southwest Georgia's oldest running durable medical equipment provider, specializing in home medical equipment. They accept and file most insurances, including Medicare and United Healthcare and many more. Lane's Medical Shop, locations now in Conquet and Donaldsonville. Stop by and see owner Blake Womble and staff or call 758-9111 in Conquet or 524-1292 in Donaldsonville.
Tallahassee Game Day is brought to you by Zaxby's, the official chicken of sports fans. Tallahassee Zaxby's, proudly supporting Florida State University and Seminole boosters for over 15 years. Now here's Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron and Tom Lang.
And for Florida State, they come in as an home underdog against Miami. But as we were just describing, a good week of practice and a likable team that is invested. And you know, last week they were shorthanded and had a chance to win that football game. That's good news, again, because the fight is there. You never should worry about that against Miami, but you don't have to worry about that at all. It's not even a fancy here. And I think to the questions that we had during the break from people on the online chat, Warchant TV, if you're watching there, thank you so much. like, and subscribe. Yes, Jordan Travis appears to be healthy. I think maybe not more important question, but as important is this offensive line, which was not healthy last week either. And they did not have everybody as a full go. The bottom line is when Florida State has this group, the group that includes Dylan Gibbons, they're pretty good up front. They're decent up front in creating explosive plays in the run game. And the thought is, knock on wood, that this group had a good week of practice and that they're all healthy enough to play. So without it, I do think Florida State would lose and would lose convincingly. With those guys, they certainly have a chance. Miami, one of the worst tackling teams in the country, statistically speaking, and they give up huge plays in the run game. They have consistently all year long. There's no reason to think that MO won't hold true here. So there's your hope right there, is running the football.
Yeah, agreed. And it's going to be with the tailbacks, I think. Jordan Travis' legs are going to help in this game, but it starts and ends with
the threat of his legs. Yeah,
the threat of his legs. It changes the gaps. It manipulates the linebackers, and that's something that you're not going to see today is vintage linebacker play with those two helmets. But the good news is when we have the ball, you're not going to see vintage linebacker play from the helmet with the U on it, right?
Correct, yeah.
So if you manipulate those guys, the thing that you notice about Miami week in and week out is if you are in a position to run them over, you can. If you're in a position where you want to finish a play and you have the will to finish a play, you can break a tackle on Miami. In fact, you can break 2 or 3 on any given play.
Lots of them.
They don't tackle very well. So the thing, I'm sure the message has been made clear to Ja'Shawn Corbin and Trayshawn Ward. Think back to the North Carolina game, folks. Remember that final play that sealed the deal where we could go into victory formation. Trayshawn Ward just caught a pass, went out of bounds, drawing the ire of the coaching staff. Then it was a 1st and 10. I feel like he was hit maybe a yard, yard behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Ends up being a gain of 11 because he has the will to break through a bunch of tackles. North Carolina has a similar issue to Miami when it comes to finishing plays. And Trayshawn decided, oh, hell no. No, I'm not going down. You could do that a lot today. The yak, the yards after contact. There's 2 kinds of yak, yards after catches, yards after contact. The latter, yeah, you could do a lot of that today on this Miami defense.
Yeah, and, listen, both sides will show up today with intensity, so maybe you don't have the, leverage that you'd have at these other points of the season against Miami. As you've noted, they have not tackled, and that's true. You'd like to believe that MO will show up here, but they'll be more intense today. Thing is, you can't really change your stripes. The reason we lean on Florida State's run game is that's the element of Florida State's offense that works. They're not going to suddenly be good in the passing game today. They're not suddenly going to be this other animal that you haven't seen. And Miami's not going to suddenly be an elite tackling team.
No, Jordan Travis threw 13 passes on the road at North Carolina, completing 11 of them. Remember, he's 0 for 2, and then it was 11 straight, 5 touchdowns total combined between the air and the ground. And then against UMass, we asked the question, are you going to work on things today, or are you going to further establish what you are? We got our answer early on in that game against UMass, a team where we could have done it any way we wanted.
Yeah.
And the run-pass splits were 45-15, a 3-to-1 run-to-pass ratio. That's who this team is.
Who you are.
Yep, exactly.
And for Florida State, unfortunately, it has been on the wrong side of the ledger in this rivalry the last 4 straight. Desperate to get a win. Now, we remember the 7 straight wins for Florida State, and they were gorgeous. And we can talk about those. 45-17, 23-19, 33-20, 41-14. Hello. We didn't even play well that game.
No, that was our worst game that year.
Yeah, 30-26, 29-24, 20-19, on and on we go. But for Miami, it's been 24-20, 28-27, 27-10, and last year's debacle, 52-10. So obviously, love to see this get rerouted, Tom, to put it mildly.
Yeah, we all take our shots at Manny Diaz, and rightly so. Even though he's a Nole, he's had his struggles, and I think a lot of people in that fan base would like to see a new head coach at some point here pretty soon.
If we win this one,
they might. Maybe they'll find somebody who can pony up the cash. But Rhett Lashley's a good offensive coordinator. They do a lot of things that are similar to what we do in terms of messing with your eyes. So the one thing I would say, if you're trying to argue that the performances from the defense might be a little bit better today, there should be familiarity with formationally how things line up and your responsibilities for both defenses.
No, that's a good point because Florida State has not been able to replicate a lot in practice that they see from their opponents.
Right. Is, they don't have the skill to do so.
That's correct. Yeah. So not having the opportunity to replicate those things, I think has led directly to real problems, especially in the first half of games.
Yeah. Yep.
So, then the adjustments have been good. I think if you're looking big picture, and why not, last home game of the year, for Florida State, they do a good job with halftime adjustments. That's coaching. We always want to look for signs that your coaching staff is
both sides
doing
actually
good. Yeah, they do a really good job at halftime adjustments of giving themselves a chance. I think we get back to the core of what today is, which is a rivalry game with a ton of recruits in town. You've got to get better players in here so that you can actually replicate the things you see from your opponent. You got to have competition. You got to have speed. You got to have all those things. They have not had that in practice, and we know that. But this week, to your point, they're looking at an offense that basically Mike Norvell and Kenny Dillingham want to run if they could get good players in here.
Yes, I totally agree. And that's the thing about the last 2 weeks is in watching it wasn't Clemson, but watching NC State and watching Miami this week in preparation for this game. Man, I like those two offenses.
Yeah.
I just like the way they're run. They're multiple. They're offenses where you don't know what's coming on 2nd and 6. You don't know what's coming. Either one.
Yeah.
They could do either thing. And if you were ranking skill position players on offense between these two teams, the top 5 skill position players, Miami has at least 3, maybe 4 out of the top 5.
Probably 4.
Right.
The only one is Jordan Travis.
The thing that you hope for here is that freshman warts and lack of composure are a part of the equation, because I think that's necessary in order for FSU to get off the field with any level of consistency today.
Yeah, and getting back to the tease before the break, which is today's top story, which is brought to you again by Barano Heating and Air Conditioning. They are healthy. We do think the team is healthy. I think the number one thing, you build to the big moments, you build to the kickoff, you build to the rivalry game getting started, and your nerves are all there. But early on, those could be quelled as you look out there in warmups. Just make sure your 2 guards are there. Make sure you got everybody you need to have there. I mean, Davion Johnson has to be available. Obviously, Dylan Gibbons has to be available. If they are, to go along with the core of the 2 tackles and center, you're going to be all right.
That's the thing. I don't know that this coaching staff will play Bavion over DLT.
They should.
But they should. And that's no knock on DLT. If he's 100% healthy, he's been chasing it all season long. And it's been a broken record. If you tune in only to Tallahassee GameDay, we talk about this every week. During the JCS as well, we talk about it. If Devontae Love-Taylor was completely healthy, then this is a no-brainer that he plays. But Bavion has been quite good in relief. So much so that probably your best 2 guards are Gibbons and Bavion. And when you didn't have either of them last week, plus you didn't have Jordan Travis against NC State, it's a miracle they were within 7 in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, that Dylan Gibbons is the key, because Florida State wants to pull.
Yep.
And they want to get their guys angles and kickouts. Listen, Maurice Smith is a good player, trouble snapping the ball occasionally. We know that, for example, Scott is a good player when he's healthy. He hasn't been healthy.
Yeah, Robert Scott.
Yeah, Robert Scott. Not.
Well,
you're gonna make me do it.
No.
Yeah.
It's all right. Don't finish that.
Yeah, Robert Scott, yes, is a good player when he's healthy. But really, for us, it's all about Dylan Gibbons. And frankly, I think Bavion Johnson's got to start over Devontae Love-Taylor. But if not, you do get a smart, heady player. But their ability to pull the guards, create the extra gap, and run the football and create explosive plays. That's the whole game today.
Well, when it's pin and pull, power counter, whatever you want to call it, who's the other escort that goes along with Dylan Gibbons? It's 87 Cam McDonald. That's another player that hopefully is up to full speed. Jordan Wilson has been better in recent weeks for Florida State.
Yeah.
But, to get from point A to point B when you're asking for agility in the blocking game to create angles, I'd rather have Cam McDonald in that situation. So another player to be watching for today. Remember, warchant.com will have all the updates from the press box as warm-ups are
Irish
going
Chappelle,
along.
Corey Clark on Twitter. Watch them closely. Those guys who take the field for warm-ups, they'll be able to give you a pretty good understanding of what we got. I will say this, Tom, and I know it sounds dire before we go to break. If, in fact, you don't have the services of Dylan Gibbons and or, let's say, Bavion Johnson as a fill-in, you can't win this game. I think it's that simple. I don't think you can win the game.
That was dire.
Tallahassee Game Day continues in a moment.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Ample sunshine expected this afternoon with a high of 69. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies again tonight. Lows level off around 39. Highs level off around 64 tomorrow. Lots of sunshine outside. Sunny skies Monday with a high of 68. 72 Tuesday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 58.
This is Patty Wilson.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're ready.
He's recording.
Why are you always saying your last name? It's Patty and Scott. Everybody knows who Patty and Scott.
I don't know. This is Patty Wilson. I am Patty Wilson.
What is the idea behind said promo?
It's for Patty's Playhouse. We're on Patty's Playhouse Saturdays at 11. Tune in. That's stupid. Just tune in. Saturdays at 11. Patty Wilson, Patty's Playhouse. House talk with a happy ending.
Each and every time.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, a floating hospital staffed by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their time to save lives.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
You went online to switch your car insurance to Progressive so you could save money. But then you saw a friend request from an old summer camp buddy. And now here you are, clicking through photos of his kickball team from 2011. Oh, looks like they won the championship that year. Then he moved to Tulsa. Oh, a new tattoo. Yes, they said it was easy to save hundreds on car insurance with Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National average savings by new customer surveyed who saved in 2019.
Hi, I'm Jeff, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches, and I'm here to tell you about our signature witch, the Wicked. Why call it the Wicked? Some say it's wicked tasty, some say it's wicked large. One thing's for sure, with oven-roasted turkey, ham, pepperoni, roast beef, and bacon, as well as your choice of 3 cheeses, it definitely takes you from wicked hungry to wicked happy in just a few wicked good bites. Only at Which Superior Sandwiches.
On Wednesday, the Wicked is just $5. 5 meats, 3 cheeses, $5.
It's Congressman Michael Waltz on the Greg Tish Show.
Good morning, Congressman. How are you doing?
Hey, doing well.
Again, just what you have to go through day in and day out. I don't know how you have hair left, or like Matty Rowe, just completely bald.
Hey!
Sorry.
And the irony of it all, the progressives are the tail wagging the dog. This whole bipartisan White House is a joke. We're just watching them, eat their own.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. Tallahassee Game Day is brought to you by Zaxby's, the official chicken of sports fans. Tallahassee Zaxby's, proudly supporting Florida State University and Seminole boosters for over 15 years. Now here's Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron and Tom Lang.
Speaking of which, Warchant.com got previews, 3 things to watch for during FSU football's huge recruiting weekend. A story worth reading there. I do think, obviously, a big deal that the recruits are in town. You know, the last time they gambled like this, they gambled and won. That was the Notre Dame game, and they didn't win the game, but they certainly won the night. And recruiting saw a huge uptick in enthusiasm and belief and investment. Today, they're taking another gamble, I guess you could say. I mean, you got to have kids on campus at some point. Why not this game? So, you know, if the atmosphere is live and people care and they're invested and the game's close and we get that thrill that we got during Notre Dame, you'd like to believe they can conclude matters here with a recruiting class that ranks in the top 10 and really is the core of what Florida State has to be in the next 2 to 3 years.
No doubt. And I'm really proud of us that you mentioned it briefly in the last segment, but we've gotten through half an hour of the show before we talked about recruiting. Because today is FSU Miami, and we do want to talk about the game at hand, but this is a battle today. The war is in the stands, and those are the kids that are attending, official visitors, unofficial visitors. When you have the heads of this recruiting class, and Travis Hunter, A.J. Duffy, Sam McCall, and more present and accounted for, I'm pretty sure McCall's here, but I know that the first 2 are, and they're going to be talking to all these 5 stars that have flocked to Tallahassee this weekend. The last 3-4 days have been huge. You got 4-star running back, another 5-star defensive back. You've got a blue chip offensive lineman that we weren't expecting in here. This is an interesting 72-hour sequence here for Florida State. They're getting a lot of big names. So the recruiting is not only done from the coaching staff to these players that are in town, it's also the heads of this recruiting class, the Seminoles of 2022, that are going to be doing a lot of work. If they haven't started already, they will be very, very shortly. Let's hope that we put an entertaining product on the field for the battle so that we can win the war in the long term.
Today's offensive keys to the game are brought to you by the Hobbit American Grill, celebrating over 40 years of serving good times to good people for great memories. Certainly, this rivalry has provided that. Get your game day going, 2020 West Pensacola Street. For more locations, head to myhobbitonline.com. Run the ball, Tom. I mean, this is not hard. Florida State doesn't win games unless they're able to run the ball. They have run the ball 6 different times this year to the tune of over 200 yards. If they're able to do that today, they'll win the game. I really believe that. Yeah, I think if they can run the ball consistently and keep their defense off the field, that is a good offense that Miami brings, to town. Can you keep them off the field by running the football, gain some momentum there, and wear down this Miami team? I think you can. If you do, you'll win.
Yeah, to me, I think it's, and you're right, that's the first key. So, echo. But the second key, I'd say, there's a phrase in the NBA, it's a make or miss league, right? You make your shots, you win.
Yeah.
Your shot plays today, hit them. You got to. If you're able to run the ball, you're going to generate wide open looks between the seams, down the field, whatever it is, we can scheme those up. We do consistently. Even without receivers that are very good, we scheme wide open looks every week. You got to hit those, though. At least at a 50% clip, if not better, because those splash plays change field position, if nothing else. And this offense is boom or bust. We might be, you might see a game today where maybe we aren't boom or bust. Maybe we can consistently run the football on this Miami team because of their poor linebacker play. And so you might see a different element out of the FSU offense. But at the very least, if you got shot plays, if they're not going to score 6, flip the field and force Miami and this freshman quarterback to go 80 yards or 90 yards.
Flipping the field is an important element of today's game because I think you got to make Miami earn it. 9 to 13 play drives, that kind of stuff. And Florida State's got a good punter, but Miami's got an elite punter, and he's one of the best in the country. So you're probably going to get pinned some. You got to be able to convert a couple first downs in the run game, eat some clock, rest your defense, and flip field position with a big punt.
Yeah, I'd say one pet peeve. I'll get this out of the way. You notice he punted with his right and his left foot last week. Can we stop that? That kid's got a boomer of a right leg.
Yeah.
Can we just stop getting fancy? That annoys the hell out of me. I don't care. We're worried about a way that they're going to scheme up a block. Like, come on, man. You don't need an ambi punter. What are we doing? It sounds ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Sorry, rant over.
I'm just laughing because I agree with you. I like the idea of having ambidextrous punter. I do because it could come into handy at some point. But I understand what you're saying.
You combine that with the rest of our
special
special teams failures, and you're like, my God, what is wrong with us?
Yeah, you got to win that too. It's funny. Sometimes football is so stereotypical. I mean, there are little things that catchwords that everybody says because they're accurate. I mean, can you run the ball? Can you establish the run? Well, everybody wants to establish the run, but for some offenses, it's more important than others. For ours, it's everything. Can you win a special teams battle? You always want to win the special teams battle. Every team does, the quote-unquote hidden yards. Everybody wants to win that. But it's really important for us. When your margin for error is as small as Florida State's, these things that are, again, just normal tropes surrounding a football game become all that much more important. And Florida State's in that category where the things that are typically described for any game plan, for any team to win a football game are really important for Florida State. The run game, special teams, etc.
Yeah, it's just, it's Mark Jones and RG3 on the call today. I watch these games on TV even at home because we've got the postgame show and there's production that needs to be done. So I know they're going to talk about the ambi punting today. It's just like Michael Ojo, the late Michael Ojo in his shoes, Nick O'Leary's grandfather. Yeah, man. Let's focus on the basics. Let's accomplish the basics. In a very divided time in our world, everybody can agree that they want to establish the run and win the special teams battle. Let's do so today. Let's catch. I know it's offensive keys. We don't have a special teams keys to the game sponsor. So anything beyond the 10-yard line on a punt, let's catch it from the 10-yard line to the end zone. Let's let it go. These sound like basic principles, but if you watch Florida State week to week, these principles are not followed, and it drives us all batty.
Well, especially because that is an element that was stressed by the head coach. And we actually like the head coach. We think he's done a good job. We think Florida State's a much improved football team, although we're not seeing it record-wise, I think they are. I think everybody recognizes that. Actually, we wouldn't even talk about this being a game if we didn't think Florida State was vastly improved. But they have been terrible in special teams, and it is infinitely frustrating.
They are wasting time Monday through Friday, and for all the time they spend
the
to be this
20
bad.
minutes they spend in that period is a waste of time.
Maybe we could create another gadget or two with that time. What could we get better at instead? That's what I'm asking.
Yes, that was the Offensive Keys, which was brought to you by HobbitOnline.com. Hobbit American Grill actually is who it's brought to you by, but go to HobbitOnline.com. Pick up your sandwich. Get your order to go. Let's go. Let's make it happen. Tallahassee Game Day continues in a moment.
Newsbreak is sponsored by Red Hills Arms. From the practical to the tactical, you'll find what you need at Red Hills Arms, your local gun store. Stop by today on Market Street or shop online at redhillsarms.com.
Jerry's Famous Cigar Shop and Lounge has been serving Tallahassee now for over 27 years. And with the addition of their beautiful new location on Cary Forest Parkway a few years back, Jerry's has the largest selection of quality cigars in Tallahassee. So come relax with their large walk-in humidor, state-of-the-art air purifiers, and spacious lounge with over 35 comfy chairs. Jerry's Famous Cigar Shop and Lounge, Tallahassee's fine cigar destination for over a quarter century.
Siri, tell me a joke. The past, present, and future walk into a bar. It was tense.
All jokes aside, the trained professionals at Mac & More Systems are serious about Apple products. For all your Mac repairs, call Mac & More Systems at 894-3622. 894-3622.
Where is the best place to find Michelin, Firestone, Dunlop, Goodyear, and Bridgestone tires? Nice Tire and Auto Service. Where's the best full-service auto center? Nice Tire and Auto Service. They do everything from computerized alignments to brakes, tune-ups, and safety inspections. Where can you get complete auto service you can trust? That's easy. Nice Tire and Auto Service. 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
I represent low-cost airlines, and we know a lot of you are not traveling right now, and we understand. However, if you do need to travel between now and the end of the year, now is a great time to lock in some of the lowest prices we've seen in a lifetime. Hey, in normal times, we can save you up to 75%, but now airlines are practically giving away seats. We have inside deals on over 500 airlines. Here are a few sample round-trip deals we found. Seattle to Vegas, $35. Chicago to Atlanta, $85. Los Angeles to Atlanta, $100. Of course, there are some limitations, but the airlines want your business right now. And cancellation and change fees are flexible. So fly somewhere this year, book now, save a ton, call now.
800-215-3613. 800-215-3613. 800-215-3613. That's 800-215-3613.
A card, so you deserve the good things in life, like getting an amazing deal on awesome internet. That's why there's never been a better time to switch to Xfinity. Get the fast and reliable internet you deserve for $20 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for the first time ever, ask how to get 12 times the speed for the same internet price when you add Xfinity Mobile. Just imagine, faster downloads, more streaming, the possibilities are endless. That's more speed and more value for the same price. Oh yeah, and for a limited time, ask how to get $300 back. So what are you waiting for? Sign up now because you deserve awesome internet. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay. Ends 11/15/21. Restrictions apply. New performance starter internet, 50 Mbps. Customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. After term, regular rates apply. Reduced speeds after 20 GB of mobile usage.
Tallahassee Game Day is brought to you by Zaxby's, the official chicken of sports fans. Tallahassee Zaxby's, proudly supporting Florida State University and Seminole boosters for over 15 years. Now here's Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron and Tom Lang.
For much of this season, Manny Diaz has been on the hot seat. He's not currently. Let's get him back in that warm, uncomfortable position.
Is he? I mean, they don't have the money, but I would think that his approval rating, even though they've got some young players who are really exciting, his approval rating can't be over 40%. I think most people would still want him gone.
Yeah.
Look at that recruiting class.
It's a terrible recruiting class, and there's not a lot going on in Miami. They've won a few games because Van Dyke's been really good, and they've narrowly escaped in these games, but they have won them, and the offense is right now clicking. So I would think his approval rating is getting better by the day, much to the chagrin, by the way, of many Miami.
I mean, I think his approval rating in Tallahassee amongst Nole fans has got to be at least 65, 70%. Now, you don't want to let him win today. You don't. We want to win this football game. But if he hangs around, for another 2 or 3 seasons,
that's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, recruiting. Right now, Florida State's got a good class. And not just that, you if you have a good day today, God forbid you actually win the game, pull the upset, mild as it is, it'd be a big deal to that end. We look big picture in this rivalry, and today's the day to reflect because neither team is where they want to be. I mentioned during the week, during the Jeff Cameron show, that Florida State is, the rivalry is at an all-time low. When you look at the combined records, it's just not good. It's 8-10. And that said, it's the worst since 1975. There's not a lot of buzz about the game, I'm sure. And, we run counter to College Game Day, but my guess is that's a talking point. The fact that this game is not what it should be. I know I feel the nerves today. You do too. And the players will, and the fans, the diehard fans of both programs will. But this is not the national spotlight game. But, again, we talk about where we're at, what the perspective is, where you're trying to get to. Today could go an awfully long way in getting there. Expedite the process, really, a little sooner. I do. I think you could secure a class today. You go out and win this game. Let's just say, and God forbid, you win the game convincingly. I got to believe that you go ahead and, drop the hammer on that class and you get these guys in at that point, and all of a sudden, the view from where we sit is remarkably better because Florida State then would have momentum. I have said this week that if they win this game, I'm not all that concerned about BC and Florida. That's kind of reflective of where the program's at, that I could even say that because there's not a lot at stake. I guess I would change my tune if you win the game because technically you could win 2 more and be bowl eligible. So, there is that. But again, I think this would be the class. This would be the one where you'd get the class in. You'd be able to kind of change the culture, I don't know about the culture, but change the perspective because the culture is already better, but change the perspective about what's possible next year and the year after.
Yeah, that early signing day is only a month away.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And for folks that are only tuning in for pregame show content, welcome. We're glad to have you. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel because we do so much more throughout the week. But this is the first. We've been talking about this a lot during the week. This is the first proper early signing day Florida State's had since early signing day was a thing. Yeah. Like, this is the first real one. And because last year, Mike Norvell's his first season, COVID year. Can't go see recruits. The dead period lasted more than a year. Couldn't get on high school campuses.
Brutal.
To establish the relationships that are necessary. Absolutely brutal. The year before that, he had to patchwork a thing in about a week. And he did the best he could. Now, you've had a full year to establish, fortify relationships, and you've got the number 1 player in the country coming to a 3-win Florida State team. Like, that's unbelievable. So, and it could be a 4-win team after today.
But do you believe, because I'll say this to our fans who are listening intently, I actually think he's probably the most locked-in recruit that we have. I actually believe he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think, and Duffy is as well, the quarterback. That's correct. Yeah, both of them seem to be extremely, committed. And you have to say that because the word is not enough by itself. I mean, even the websites, the websites do soft commitment, strong commitment, whatever it is. But now that signing day is a month away, this is the final in-person product placement, the proof of concept. That's a term that we've overused, but we've had to use it because that's what we're looking to do, is establish proof that things can get better here, that things are better here. This is your last chance to send an impression in person to these players and then talk with them after the game. That's why today it feels the same, but for different reasons. The stakes are high. Typically in this rivalry, 20 years ago when Miami was decent, in this rivalry, the stakes
20 years ago, Tom.
For Orange Bowls, Sugar Bowls, shots at national titles. For us, we've had high-stakes games against Miami where they were no good. We just didn't want to slip up and lose to a bad team because that would look bad on our resume.
Think back to the national championship, which is less than a decade old, and you think about the undefeated season the following year. You think about Florida State's 29 straight wins and all of that. It's not that far in the rear view. Miami has to really squint.
Right, in 14, you're like, don't lose to that trash team. Come on now.
They got to go dust off the VHS tapes and Yeah,
they're wearing
it's
their
tough.
smoke uniforms. Come on, let's not lose to this ragtag bunch. And we survived that one.
Yeah,
that's
win
okay.
win the game against these losers. Yeah,
Right. That's what we thought. But the stakes today are high, and it has nothing to do with Miami. It has everything to do with us fortifying this recruiting class because we're doing a much better job than Manny Diaz is, despite the fact that, he's in Miami and we're up in the Panhandle. It's amazing what we're doing, but you've got to close the deal. Today would go a long way to doing that. That's why I feel nervous on two fronts. I always want to beat the orange and green.
Yeah.
Always. But again, this is about long-term projections. And if you win today, we get a whole lot stronger in the long-term projections because now it's a cool place to be again. And the 23 class will take a look at some of those players and say, you know what? This thing really is flipping.
Yeah, they're on a roll.
It's not rhetoric from a coach. It's commitment from my players, my future teammates.
Yeah, I think the guy that probably, best represents that ability or potential is Earl Little Jr., who's here today, and his father's a legacy at Miami, and Miami's not on the list of teams that he's considering because he knows they suck, and he doesn't want to be part of a sorry-ass program. So he's here today, and that's huge. I mean, that you got a chance to potentially take a guy away from Alabama. That's true of Marvin Jones Jr.
Right.
I mean, these are big wins if you get them.
If you get him. And again, I think the performance today will really shape how the experience goes this weekend because, Marvin Jones Jr. is coming off of visits to Alabama and Oklahoma, and he loves those two programs.
Sure.
And you need every little thing. Yeah, you need every little thing to go your way. What's crazy for Miami is they have two reasons to feel a lot of hope on that offense. That quarterback is the most talented
He's a
for
really
me.
good player. Yeah.
We talked about this last night after the happy hour. When's the last time they had a quarterback with this much raw talent? 20 years, 25 years?
I mean, Miami's not had a good quarterback in an awfully long time. I used to make fun all the time as how excited they'd get about a particular player.
Ja'Cory Harris, Stephen Morris.
Oh, actually, who was the kid that was his parents were actors or whatever it was that everybody loved for like 4 years?
Recently?
Yeah.
Brad Kaya?
Yeah. Kaya. Kaya was terrible. They loved him. They would talk about him every year as being a great player. Brad Kaya was terrible. You're right. You can go back eons.
I think this guy's got more arm talent than Dorsey did. I mean, Van Dyke does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a rocket. So, you've got real reasons if you're a Miami fan to say, hey, the future's bright.
Unless
the problem
you lose
is
today.
Nobody's buying in for the long term. So it's the exact opposite. You're looking at us. We don't have weapons, but you've got guys buying in long term in the recruiting class. Miami, they finally get a couple of kids. I mean, Jalen Knighton, 0 to 60 is unbelievable. And that's something we got to watch for today. Unfortunately, he was committed to us for a while, heavily considering us, and he went the other way. He went down to the U. But those two guys are awesome, and yet nobody is picking them for the long term.
And he
exact opposite.
Yeah, he missed the first few games of the year, and there's been a lot of discussion as to why or how that happened. It's worth investigating. It's worth talking about why Knighton didn't get to play. I think there's something there. But that's just me.
My army of chickens are snickering over here.
Well done. By the way, those games, those wins for them, 33 to 30, 38 to 34, 31 to 30, 45, 42 is a loss. But in succession, you see the nature of these games, high scoring shootouts, every one of them. Miami's gotten the better of it the last three. But again, Georgia Tech and all these teams, they're right there with an opportunity to win. I think today, in order to get this, I guess, feeling really good in terms of the class, you got to be right there too in the fourth quarter with one of those opportunities.
Yeah, what'll be interesting to me, and defensive keys don't necessarily talk about this particular element, so I don't think it'll be redundant next hour. But just watching Tyler Van Dyke play on the road the last two performances, the North Carolina game on the road was rough. He made some great throws, but
They
a lot
scored
of
42 points though.
A lot of turnover worthy plays, where it helped, keep North Carolina in that ball game. And then when they went on the road to Pitt, to me, that's the most impressive game Miami's played head to toe all season long.
38-34 win.
They tackled well in that game. They didn't do so. I saw in the chat they've been better last 3 weeks. I guess the Pitt game, I will agree, that's an outlier. They played well both phases of the game. But in the Pitt game, clearly Rhett Lashley was saying, "Whoa, let's go easy, Tyler."
Yeah.
What they did was they screamed them to death.
Yeah, they respected Pitt's defense.
Then they should. But they hit a lot of perimeter screens. I mean, a ton of them. If you look at average depth of target, which is a Pro Football Focus stat, it's the same thing as air yards per attempt on Pro Football Focus. It's just How far on average is the quarterback throwing the ball down the field relative to the line of scrimmage?
And on the whole, he does.
He does.
It's like 9 point whatever it is. Yeah.
Listen, if he was wearing a different jersey,
you'd love him.
I
you'd
would.
love him. Yeah, no, he's a good player.
Because he is soulless. If he makes a mistake deep down the field, he's like, I don't
Doesn't care. Yeah.
If it's open again, I'm going to throw it again.
Yeah.
You love that in a quarterback. That is a finisher's mentality. That's a winner's mentality. But Rhett Lashley was like, whoa. In his first few games, Van Dyke's average depth of target was over 10 yards. It's beyond the sticks every single play.
Yes, it is.
Against Pitt, it was 7. He's like, dude, we're going to take it easy.
Settle down.
Let's get it to the perimeter. Let's fan out that Pitt defense that loves to play press so much. Let's block them, make a guy miss. And what did it do? It set up shots down the field. That got him settled and into the game. Now, this weekend, the tape suggests for Miami, take your deep shots all damn day.
Everybody that plays Florida State is going to take shots down the field. Today is a big day for the secondary on a lot of levels because they've been in position, Tom, and that's the hard part that drives me nuts.
Yep.
These kids have been in a position to reward themselves. They never do. They never do. Today would be a good day to start rewarding yourself for being in phase, for locking in, hip to hip, getting comfortable, turning and burning, all the stuff that you beg of your corners to do to be in a position to reward themselves. Now's the time because this kid's gonna throw it.
Yeah,
he's gonna throw it.
Yeah, well, and you're good for at least one coverage bust a game. And that's true of most any defense too these days. No, I mean, you're talking about you're putting a defender in conflict of where to pass off, where to communicate. We have
but not for
there.
60 yards and 40 yards and 25 yards. And Florida State gives too many of those big plays up. Keep it in front of you today.
If you can. Yes, you would use the same game plan Florida State used against Sam Howell in North Carolina. The one shot play they hit to Josh Downs for the touchdown, that's a tight window throw to the back line of the end zone.
Great throw and a great catch.
Right. It's not to the pylon.
What
it's
are you
like
do?
To the field goal post.
Yeah.
Right. If you're going to make that play, we salute you.
Off the cap.
Right. In this instance, I mean, they're going to hit a shot play or two. What's different about Van Dyke than a Devin Leary or even a DJ up at Clemson is that it's so sudden. I mean, if there's a coverage bust and he sees it, the ball is on the receiver now.
Yeah. Leary is a better player and a better passer. Correct. And a more talented player. DJ sucks. This kid's infinitely more talented right now.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yes. Like Devin Leary is right now a better quarterback than Tyler Van Dyke. However, if you're talking about the tools and the highlight moments, Van Dyke's got it on Devin Leary already in terms of the game-breaking plays.
The arm talent. Right. I mean, that's just there. He's got that. Yeah. And it is now. You're right.
He has shown some hand talent, but it's not consistent enough. The one thing that worries me about the long term with this kid, hopefully he transfers because he sees that class is trash.
Yeah.
He wants to go play with some winners. Maybe come to Tallahassee. Who knows? Play with Tyler Hunter. Or Travis Hunter, excuse me. Tyler. No, you would not. No.
You don't want
No. Is that he's already at times manipulating safeties to set up backside throws. Like, oh no. What is this guy doing? Rhett, get out of there. Take him with you. Go to Alabama. Go somewhere else.
Run for the hills. There's no hope in Miami. Leave, everybody. Yeah, I'm with you on that. It is, it's funny because occasionally when you're being objective like this, you kind of like to watch him play.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's the worst thing in the world to say. You're like, I like watching this kid
because
play.
The other thing about him, too, like if it's the Sam Howell game plan for Florida State, you have to be content with a 3rd and 8 here or there, Van Dyke converting with his legs.
No, but I'm going to give that up all day. I'm going to let you run the football. I'm going to let hey, listen, if he beats us because he runs for 65 yards or 70 yards today, fine. That's fine. What you don't want are those huge plays over the top with really good receivers going up, making plays, frozen ropes, it's dispiriting. Make him run around because first of all, if he runs around, obviously, he's not running 80 yards for a touchdown.
Right.
But the down-the-field passing game could provide that. So let him run around there. Secondly, you're hitting him if he's running around. And the potential to do some real damage. And I would really, today's a day that both sides will tackle with a little what for.
They will? Oh, and we already do. That's the other thing I like about this
It's a hard-hitting team. And
they get downhill.
Yeah. And let's hope today, right on that elbow. Something like that. It's a shame if it happens.
Well, this is a Miami Saturday, isn't it?
Tallahassee Game Day continues in a moment.
Imagine a salad made with only the freshest vegetables, with grilled or hand-breaded chicken, and topped with Southwest Ranch dressing. Big enough to fill you up without weighing you down. Made to order, when you order, in that order. Try our new Southwest salad with fire-roasted corn, tomatoes, and crispy tortilla strips. Just one of our made-to-order salads. Only at Zaxby's. Redeem rewards, scan to pay, order ahead on the Zaxby's app.
All today.
Attention! It's enough. This has gone on way too long. If we're going to win this thing, we've got to go big.
Introducing Zaxby's new signature sandwich with a double hand-breaded filet, split top bun, and Zax sauce, or new spicy Zax sauce. Only at Zaxby's. Redeem rewards, scan to pay, order ahead on the Zaxby's app.
For a limited time, only at your neighborhood Zaxby's.
Lane's Medical Shop is proud to announce the opening of their newest location at 800 North Wiley Avenue in Donaldsonville. Lane's Medical Shop, Southwest Georgia's oldest running durable medical equipment provider, specializing in home medical equipment. They accept and file most insurances, including Medicare and United Healthcare and many more. Lane's Medical Shop, locations now in Colquitt and Donaldsonville. Stop by and see owner Blake Wommel and staff, or call 758-9111 in Colquitt or 524-1292 in Donaldsonville.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee.
Signed into law the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. He met with cabinet officials on Friday to discuss its implementation.
The responsibility we all have to make sure this money is used wisely, used well, and used for the stated purposes for the American people.
Meanwhile, critics say adding trillions of dollars into the economy is giving rise to higher prices. We get a closer look at the numbers and some of the political implications from correspondent Bernie Bennett.
According to data released by the Labor Department, annual inflation jumped to 6.2% in October, reaching the highest level in more than 30 years. Prices rose 0.9% last month alone, marking the third straight month of accelerating inflation. While Democrats are hoping to celebrate the passage of Mr. Biden's bipartisan infrastructure bill and turn the focus to brighter spots in the economy, the GOP is betting that Americans will care most about the day-to-day pinch they feel at the stores or the pump, and that they'll blame Mr. Biden's agenda. Bernie Bennett reporting.
Senator Tom Cotton says Democrats and the media are using critical race theory to sow seeds of division in the country's public schools.
To separate kids by race, to close down gifted and talented programs and AP programs because they don't believe the kids have the right racial mixture, that there's too many Asian kids in those programs.
Cotton says Democrats are teaching school children to view everything through what he calls the lens of race. Former Senator Jim Talent says the Biden administration is wrong to think it can sway China on the issue of climate change, despite a veneer of negotiations at the U.S. Climate Summit in Glasgow, Scotland.
There's this tremendous naivete in the administration in the belief that the Chinese will do any or will agree to anything regarding climate change that they would not otherwise do.
On Wall Street Friday, the Dow did well. It was up by 179 points by the closing bell. More from townhall.com.
Why are cash out refinances such a big deal right now? Uncle Ryan tries to teach me something.
I really feel like right now might be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I've been doing this for 18 years now, and I've just never seen a market where the rates are so low and values across the country have skyrocketed as much as they have. That combination, I remember one couple in particular, they were looking to do some home improvements at the house, but they were worried about their payments going up. Well, with rates being so low, and them building up so much equity in the home over the last few years, we were able to get them the cash out for those home improvements, and their payments actually went down a little bit. Every single situation is different, but it does happen more often than you think. So it definitely does not hurt to call.
We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Middle Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Did you know metal roofs' survivability far exceeds that of traditional shingle roofs? It's time to consider a metal roof from Metal Roofing Sales of Tallahassee. We provide the best quality, least expensive material and accessories in the area, as well as material pickup and delivery. Our painted panels qualify for the City of Tallahassee Tallahassee's low-interest Energy Star loan program also. And don't forget about our veteran and law enforcement discount. Give Metal Roofing Sales a call today at 536-9123, 536-9123.
When it comes to salads, the fresher, the better. That's why at Zaxby's, we don't make your salad until you order it. Try our brand new Southwest salad with fire-roasted corn, juicy tomatoes, crispy Santa Fe tortilla strips, and our new Southwest ranch dressing. It's big enough to fill you up without weighing you down. The new Southwest salad. Get it fresh, get it customized, get it made to order. For a limited time, only at your neighborhood Zaxby's.
The following is a live production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network and Real Talk 93.3. Fire up your grills. It's time for Tallahassee Game Day on Warchant TV and Real Talk 93.3.
That pass is intercepted to the delight of all Seminole fans. The pick six.
Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron and Tom Lang bring you the latest news, updates, and analysis around the FSU program ahead of today's kickoff on Bobby Bowden Field.
2nd and 3, patient and explosive, and a touchdown for the Noles.
Tallahassee Game Day is brought to you by Zaxby's, the official chicken of sports fans. Tallahassee Zaxby's, proudly supporting Florida State University and Seminole boosters for over 15 years. Zaxby's, indescribably good. Now live from Florida's capital city, here's Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron.
Welcome in, hour 2 of Tallahassee Game Day. Happy Game Day, Noles. Go to hell, Miami. Florida State with an opportunity today to knock off the hated Canes in a nonsense program with very little support. That would be absolutely huge, obviously, to securing a vastly superior recruiting class than Miami, which is going to happen regardless of today's results, judging by where we stand currently. That's always good to note. And the futility of the last 20 years will continue down there. It's about climbing back to where we rightfully belong.
I believe I read a report about Alabama trying to swoon Tyler Van Dyke at some point, just to, maybe making some phone calls around to people in the middle because you can't tamper. I don't know. It wasn't verified, though.
No.
I'm not sure if that actually happened, but I'm pretty sure it happened.
We shall see if Florida State can rise to the occasion. Thank you, Vishal. We appreciate you supporting Tallahassee Game Day, Warchant.com, the Jeff Cameron Show. Got a good feeling about this one, boys. Let's go get this dub. Go Noles, rise to the show. Yeah, absolutely. Let's. That's good. That's always appreciated. As for the game itself, we were talking about before the break. Do you want to do this, Tom? Do you want to go and look at some picks to have a good day, bad day,
sure.
that kind of stuff?
Yeah,
we can do that with prize.
I haven't put together the Sporting Noles column that I typically do this week. I'm going to try and give you a rapid fire one right after the show, get it up on the site. But we could talk about it right now and discuss some of these things because this is fun. You get to tell the story of the game, as we like to say, through over-unders. And I'll pull up the passing numbers for both quarterbacks as set by prizepicks.com right now.
So those totals, by the way, figure to be pretty high. You're looking now, there's at, by the way, I just now noticed there's a little Brock Purdy in there. You typically, I think if you go week to week, could have gone under there, but there's Van Dyke and there's Jordan Travis. 274.5 for Van Dyke and 164.5 for Jordan Travis. Two very different offenses, obviously. I think, Tom, when we talk about the prize picks and the numbers that we're going to look at with running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks, we're talking about two different offenses and two different styles. You got to go probably, unfortunately, over that 274, don't you, with Van Dyke?
Yeah.
They're going to throw the ball.
I think that's in the grand scheme of like 1 to 5 likelihood. It's a 4.5.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
You've got to take that over on Van Dyke because if that kid was timid, if he was a kid who had a cannon for an arm, but he was a timid quarterback who didn't trust what he saw, all right, I could see the argument. But he's fearless. If he makes a mistake, he does not care. He flushes the last play, if it's a mistake, really well for somebody who is only a freshman in terms of experience. He's a COVID freshman. He was on the roster last year.
Right.
So when you have an attitude like that against a secondary like this, yeah, man, The over is the smarter play there. The Travis number is interesting, though.
Well, because if you get a screen bust or something like that, you get a big chunk play or something, in that realm, you could see that being a 170 day, a 180 day for him, somewhere in that neighborhood. The question is, and we usually like to use this as a way to tell the story of the game, Tom. And you can do that with betting lines, you can do that with totals, and you can do that with the fantasy realm as well. Brought to you by Prize Picks. And I think that's true. I think you can do that. Let's look at Jordan Travis's rushing yards. And I think that's the better story of the game if we're trying to tell it and what's possible. Because if he has a big day, then obviously Florida State probably has a chance to win the game. 42.5 is his number of rush yards for the over-under, according to Prize Picks.
Right. Remember sack yardage. That's always the concern in college football.
It really is. And, Florida State will give up a sack yard. But I'm going to take the over there. I really am. He's got – do you pull him aside today? And not that you have to say it, but it's sort of, son, this is a moment.
Oh, no, I think
this is a moment, and you've got to be willing to take off. He was not willing to take off against Clemson.
That's why you need to say it. That's why the answer is, do you have to say it?
Put your arm around him. Yeah,
you do.
You've got to go nuts today, son. This is your day. By the way, this is a seminal moment for Jordan Travis. Oh, buddy. That's so well done.
Yep.
Thank you.
And we're done. Goodbye, everybody.
It's professional. But what a day, right? Here's your time, Jordan. If you're right, and I know you weren't last week, didn't play, flu, all that, but if you got your strength back, it's summoned for now. This is it. This is the game. This cements you and your legacy if you go nuts today. I don't care what happens against BC, Florida. This is it. Go nuts today at home, final home game. They give up explosive plays in the run game. They don't like to tackle, soft as hell. There you go.
Well, that's the thing that you go back to the North Carolina performance, and we said, is this just the way he's going to run the read option from here on out? Because if that's the case, you don't just have a one-trick pony. You've got a real offense now. Is it what you want when you're at peak and you've got the athletes? No, but it's something that you have to have to really sweat over as a defensive coordinator. We tried it at Clemson. It didn't work at all, as well. Those things typically don't, given what Clemson is in the front
their
seven.
Defensive line is entirely different animal.
And also, these are long developing runs. These are long developing plays when you're talking about the run game, because the decision, he was almost like a Wake Forest quarterback in terms of how long Jordan Travis is waiting to make a choice. Given Miami's linebackers today, he should be put in a position where one run can get him over that total, and it's just a matter of how many sacks are allowed that would detract from that run. But then also, I'm looking at Jayshon Corbin, 67.5. Now, Jayshon gets between 10 and 15 carries a game. That's the MO. So he's going to need to break a big one in that grouping.
In order, yeah.
But he is the style of runner that is the bane of Miami's existence this season, which is somebody who likes to finish runs with a little bit of extra. So I feel like that might be an over. I feel more confident about playing Corbin than I do Travis in that game because, again, of how college stats are compiled.
Yeah, no, you bring up a good point. Where are you at with Jalen Knighton, who's a good football player? Again, everybody should probably wonder why he didn't play early in the year and take a good look at that. But beyond that,
I don't know why they don't have a helmet over him, but yeah.
He's a really good football player, really fast. Where do you stand on 89.5?
I mean, you're basically banking on a home run and then playing average the rest of the way. But the problem is, if we're in the wrong gap,
he's gone.
One time,
gone.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
he's
is.
gone. Yeah.
That is the kind of 0 to 60. I know it's hubris, and you're going to call my Nole card out. He's not the same player as one Dalvin Cook here in Tallahassee. But when you're just talking about acceleration, again, not talking about setting up angles and the vision and all the things that Dalvin had, people bounced off of him in a way that it's not the same with Knighton. You're just talking about straight ahead 0 to 60. He's a breathtaking player to watch.
By the way, I know that Knighton was suspended, dumbass. That's why I'm bringing it up. Just for those on the chat. Yeah. That's exactly why I brought it up.
The whispers as to why. Yeah. That's all right.
I know why.
Comprehension and the orange and green don't really go together all
reading,
that well.
All that stuff. Yeah.
20 years.
Absolutely know why he was suspended and the fact that he was. Yeah. Interesting to know why, too. Delve into that one. He is a perfect player for the University of Miami.
Indeed.
Tallahassee Game Day continues in a moment.
Imagine a salad made with only the freshest vegetables, with grilled or hand-breaded chicken, and topped with Southwest Ranch dressing. Big enough to fill you up without weighing you down. Made to order, when you order, in that order. Try our new Southwest salad with fire-roasted corn, tomatoes, and crispy tortilla strips. Just one of our made-to-order salads. Only at Zaxby's. Redeem rewards, scan to pay, order ahead on the Zaxby's app.
We're too early to go shopping for that special somewhere.
Attention! It's enough. This has gone on way too long. If we're going to win this thing, we've got to go big.
Introducing Zaxby's new signature sandwich with a double hand-breaded filet, split top bun, and Zax sauce, or new spicy Zax sauce. Only at Zaxby's. Redeem rewards, scan to pay, order ahead on the Zaxby's app.
This holiday season, it's more important than ever to show some love to our local businesses when tackling your shopping lists. Real Talk 93.3 and the Office of Economic Vitality want to encourage everyone to think local first before you click that Shop Now button from the Big Box website.
Instead, consider checking out some of our very own local businesses like Lowly and The Bean, packed with unique gifts like home decor, jewelry, women's apparel, and customized gifts for any occasion.
Early's Kitchen, featuring fresh, made-from-scratch, honest, good food. Served family style and packed full of comfort.
Red Eye Coffee, with locally roasted coffee, high-quality teas, hand-blended cocoa, and house-made artisanal chocolates and pastries.
And Trip Drop Fitness, an exciting place for women in Tallahassee to have fun with a rewarding physical workout and feel confident in high-intensity cardio and group fitness classes.
'Tis the season to love your local. Find a full list of participating local businesses to love at oevforbusiness.org.
That's oevforbusiness.org.
While other gun stores come and go, Red Hills Arms remains Tallahassee's go-to local gun store for all your firearms needs. At Red Hills Arms, they're right on target. Stop by today and get welcomed in like family.
Siri, tell me a joke. The past, present, and future walk into a bar. It was tense.
All jokes aside, the trained professionals at Mac & More Systems are serious about Apple products. For all your Mac repairs, call Mac & More Systems at 894-3622. 894-3622.
If you're an attorney who struggles with the balance of managing your practice and practicing law, consider Lexicon as your #1 pick. From client intake to billing and all that comes in between, Lexicon doesn't miss a thing. Our comprehensive solution combines best-in-class software and services to take care of your firm's most critical challenges, automating many of the tasks that take time out of your day. It's all about giving you more of your billable hours back. And who doesn't love more revenue? No more searching for practice management that works. Lexicon marks the spot. Visit lexiconservices.com to learn what Lexicon can do for you.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Lane's Medical Shop is proud to announce the opening of their newest location at 800 North Wiley Avenue in Donaldsonville. Lane's Medical Shop, Southwest Georgia's oldest running durable medical equipment provider, specializing in home medical equipment. They accept and file most insurances, including Medicare and United Healthcare and many more. Lane's Medical Shop, locations now in Colquitt and Donaldsonville. Stop by and see owner Blake Womble and staff, or call 758-9111 in Colquitt or 524-1292 in Donaldsonville.
Tallahassee Game Day is brought to you by Zaxby's, the official chicken of sports fans. Tallahassee Zaxby's, proudly supporting Florida State University and Seminole boosters for over 15 years. Now here's Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron and Tom Lang.
Tallahassee Game Day, good to have you on board. Appreciate you tuning in to Tallahassee Game Day. Florida State, Miami, always fun and always a little touchy,
a little feisty. It's the way it should be.
It is. Today's defensive keys to the game are brought to you by Zaxby's. No matter the result on the field, you're always a winner when you stop at Tallahassee's area Zaxby's for the best chicken fingers, signature salad, or chicken sandwich today. Support those who support local businesses and FSU. That's been Zaxby's way of doing business for over 15 years. Defensive keys to the game. I mean, look, I think this is straightforward. You got to get pressure on Van Dyke. You got to rattle the kid. You got to make him feel the rivalry. You got to make him feel the moment. Jermaine Johnson and the ilk have been really good. That group up front, all of them, have been very, very good for Florida State. There aren't too many elements, if we're being honest about Florida State right now, that have been elite for Florida State or very good. Let's just put it that way for Florida State the last few years. But this group up front today has been very good this year. They are the group that you can depend on day in and day out. It's the one that wins one-on-one matchups. It's the one that gets penetration. It's the one that pressures the quarterback. They've done that this year.
Yeah, to me, it's use the Sam Howell game plan. I talked about that a little bit, where it's okay if Van Dyke picks up 12 or 15 yards. When he breaks the pocket, he's pretty quick. So and we can live with that versus a shot over the top to Rambo or Restrepo or whoever the hell. You can live with those chunks, force the kid to make the plays systematically. The other thing I'd say is you got to play this honest. You have to play this game honest because his arm is so strong. If you're a safety trying to cheat towards the box when your responsibility is outside for a receiver screen, that one step could cost you a play up the sidelines.
Yeah.
His arm is too damn strong. There are some quarterbacks that you play where if it's on the right hash, you can cheat if you're on the left side of the field to the field side. This is not one of those quarterbacks. You have to play it straight up. Same thing for the linebackers. Too much freelancing. I'm expecting freelancing because that's who we are. We rat trap. We get really nervous, and we look for plays where they are not. And Miami's offense, formationally speaking, with all the gun concepts that they run, where they've got 2 and 3 people in the backfield at a time.
Gun, yeah.
Well, yeah, given what we were just talking about.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Armed robbery.
So you've got to keep your eyes in the right places. The other thing, we haven't talked about this all week, but Miami is good for one flea flicker a week, too. So be alert. If you're playing honest, you're going to be in position to make plays against tricks. But that was a long touchdown play for Miami on the road at Pitt. It was a reverse flea flicker. I've seen the flea flicker used with Tyler Van Dyke in 2 other games. So just if you've got an assignment, stick to it. You don't have to do anything more than your job here. Nobody expects you to hold this offense down to 10 or 13 points. That's not the way college football is played, first of all. Secondly, with this offense and how explosive it is, we're trying to score into the 30s to win the football game, hold them into the 20s. But the way you get there is by playing Miami honest and sticking to that Sam Howell game plan.
Yeah, and the Sam Howell game plan actually produced an interception, several plays in which plays were made on the ball. People got their head around.
Yeah, the 50-50 ball for Jerrion Jones in the end zone. That's a big play in that game.
You know, one thing that somebody just noted this, Michael did in the chat, that 11 may get his paycheck for this game. You know, I think that's true. I think this is the game. I mean, that's a kid that has shown up big in big games. He showed up big against Clemson, obviously made the play, right? Strip sack, touchdown.
Yes.
I mean, he cares immensely, and he knows the moment is big. He has shown up for his teammates in these moments. He's been really, really good. I think he has a good day today.
Oh, I think it's fair to expect that. It's fair at this point. And I remember when we were doing this show, well, it was a different chat, but it was a pregame element for Warchant TV, which remember, like and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. I was saying, all right, you had 5.5 of your sacks or 4.5 in the first 5 games
and he
of the
showed
season.
up big. He told you, Tom Wayne.
Well, we knew it was in him, but we needed him to do that. And if the offense could have gotten a couple first downs with 5 minutes to go, it would have been the signature play of that game. He and Toafili, that would have been the memories that would have been lasting about that road trip to Clemson and win over the Tigers. Not to be, of course. Then last week against NC State and a left tackle that gets a first-round grade, he pulls a couple of moves on that kid that, again, got him paid. I think his paycheck is assured at this point.
Yeah.
What he's done the last 2 weeks.
But go ahead and cement it today.
And give us a signature moment again. He's put us in position. You want to win for that kid. That's a player on this roster.
About a transfer, but it's so true, and that's where they've really hit. Is a kid like that. That group up front in general is filled with transfers, and they've done a really good job. They're going to have to do it again, by the way, because if all those guys jettison the program, some of them by choice, some of them because it's time, you're going to have to hit big again. There is some development happening, though, with that group as well. Some kids that you recruited that are actually playing well. Ray's played well. I mean, they've got some kids that are starting to emerge there. But, yeah, today's a big day for that group. It's really the only way you win the game, because getting Miami behind the chains is going to be vital here. Because they play tempo, Tom. So let's get to the nuts and bolts of the game here. We're talking about defensive keys. Miami plays tempo. And you went back and watched that film. I watched that film. They play fast if you let them. And the only way you let them is if they win first down. That's true of all tempo offenses. If they win first down, they are going to get to the line of scrimmage and go now. And that is tough on any defense. Wears you down. It leads to huge mistakes. And basically, it's designed so that guys can't get set and read their keys. It's designed to create combustible plays, big moments. And that's exactly what happens with tempo offenses. That's what happens with this offense unless they lose first down. You've got to win that down today, both offensively and defensively. First down is the most important down of the day. Everybody talks about money down, third down, all that nonsense. Listen, first down is the biggest key to today's game for both Florida State's offense and defense.
Yeah, so defensively, this is where, again, a couple of freshmen who are getting better. I mean, Van Dyke is getting more composed as the weeks go on, but he'll still run himself into trouble. He'll break the pocket when there is no pressure and feed into a twist game. That is one nut and bolt, as you're talking about, that you can look at. A couple of times the last 2 weeks, we've seen Keir Thomas, number 4, and Jermaine Johnson, number 11, line up together next to each other on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
That alerts you that something weird is coming. And Van Dyke has one of the few things he hasn't handled all that well is the twists. We've gotten a lot better at that. We've coached that better. We've developed there. That's good work.
It was awful earlier in the year.
Oh, it took forever.
Real sign of coaching, though. They've gotten better there.
Yeah, somebody was saying that I hated seeing, I think it was Dante Lucas trying to pull. You know, it's like it took forever to get it. That's what it was like on our defensive line when we were trying to run the ET twist, whatever you want to call it.
Games.
Well, you run those games. Van Dyke will put himself in a position where he runs into a sack where there didn't need to be one. Same thing with Jalen Knighton. Jalen Knighton doesn't wait for runs typically. It's happened like once or twice this season, but he loves to get to full speed as quickly as he can. So if you stay where you're supposed to stay, you can run that. They can run themselves into 2nd and 9 because you are where you're supposed to be. The other thing I'd say defensively as well, if you're watching Miami and they will make mistakes out of nowhere, whether it's putting the football on the ground or Van Dyke predetermining where he's going to go with the football and throwing a 102-mile-an-hour fastball right into the chest of a defender, you've got to be alert for the ball on the ground or the ball coming right at you. You're going to get some opportunities there. But if it's a drop and it hits the turf and it's 3rd and 6 instead of first down, Florida State going the other way, these are the little things that add up and put you in the L column instead of the W column.
You know, it's interesting, the idea, we talk about our defense against, what's the number that would, I guess, signal that Florida State's having a good day? You know, offensively, somebody posted that if we throw more than 20 times, we lose. Simple. I don't think it's that simple. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with the sentiment, Glenn. But you could have 7 or 8 screen passes in there, and just to slow Miami down, and know, or extensions of the run, if you will.
Yeah, we had a game plan earlier this year where it was similar to Miami's against
threw
Pitt.
a ton, but it really didn't throw.
Was that Syracuse? I think.
Yeah, just out to the edges. Yeah, over and over again. So. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I again, the sentiment is correct.
Yeah, if it's 20 downfield passes, then
yes, that's correct.
You
got problems. Second level passes, more than 20, you got real problems because you got to run the ball here, and you got to run it on first down. The world knows it. It's not ideal. Modern offenses want to throw on first down. It's the best down to throw on. It's the only neutral down. You've got to make a team defend the whole field. Well, we don't do that. That's just not who we are. And we've had to lean into who we are. What's the number, though, the other way for Miami that signals they're in trouble? Is it Van Dyke has to throw 50 times? Is it Van Dyke throws 20 times? Where would you say that the game plan is going well for Florida State? What's that number since we're doing defensive keys to the game?
I think if he's under $180 at halftime, I think we're doing some things.
Yeah.
I know that's a huge number, but I think that's where, I mean, the game plan demands that you throw the football on this team. And I think Rhett Lashley's smart enough. I mean, look at what they did to us last year. They wanted to air it out as much as they possibly could.
Yeah. And I get it. I would too. I would challenge our corners. I would challenge our safeties. I would challenge us in the pass game as often as I could.
Yeah.
I would isolate linebackers and make them cover. Yes, I would throw the ball 40 plus times today if I'm Miami. I think NC State did us a favor by dialing back the passing game.
Correct.
When they did that, I thought, oh, well, thank you. You're trying to lose the game, dumbass Dave Doran. That's who you are. But listen, I don't think Miami will dial that back because Lashley's an infinitely superior offensive play caller to Doran and his staff. Yes.
Yeah. And to me, that's the thing, though. It's hard for me to say that that's the number that I'm looking for because that number will be lower if we can't run the football. You know what I mean? Because then Miami they'll just have the ball the whole half, and then it doesn't really matter. So you know what I'll look at instead? Here's what I'll look at. 3rd down. third down conversions. I mean, with us, we're so situational and we're so limited in what we do. If our third down percentage is high, because last week we were 2 of 16. 2 of 16 on third down.
Again, remember, we did not have a starting quarterback in the game.
Agreed.
Flu-ridden, had to play McKenzie Milton. He's terrible. So
we didn't have our best guards.
Yeah.
But that tells you that on third down, we're one-dimensional. If our third down percentage is up, that means that we're in third and we can run, which is what we live and die on. So I'm actually looking to the offense, because what that does is that tells me that we've had the ball, we've possessed the football, which is critical for this offense. I mean, they'll go through spells where, sure, like the defense will be on the field for maybe 12 of the first 18 minutes of the football game, and then we hit an explosive for 80 yards. Like, that's great. I'm glad we're on the board. But these guys got to roll right back. Yeah. That happened against Wake Forest. It was the shot play from Jordan. I'm like, okay, good. Here's the problem. The defense has been on the field this whole time. So that's where it gets dicey to predict those numbers. Because, again, to me, it wouldn't be shocking if Miami won by 14, 17 points. It wouldn't be shocking if we did.
Yeah.
This game is volatile.
So to answer a question on the chat, why they had to throw the ball 40 times last week, you can't run the ball when McKenzie Milton's the quarterback. The defense doesn't have to respect the quarterback's legs. You can't win the match.
Yeah, we still called read options, and it's like, why?
Yeah. So, you have to throw the ball when he's in the game because you can't run it. So it really is manifest. You're in a terrible situation when you start him. So that's how that works. It's football. Come on, brother. Let's go Noles, writes Marcus. Wu-Tang. Have a great day, fellas, and thanks for all the wonderful content. Woo! Appreciate you, Marcus. Appreciate you big time. Oh, David, thank you very much as well. Just donating to the cause. People are rolling in. Keep it coming, baby. I'll dance on the pole as we go to break. Tallahassee GameDay continues in a moment.
Imagine a salad made with only the freshest vegetables, with grilled or hand-breaded chicken, and topped with Southwest Ranch dressing. Big enough to fill you up without weighing you down. Made to order, when you order, in that order. Try our new Southwest salad with fire-roasted corn, tomatoes, and crispy tortilla strips. Just one of our made-to-order salads, only at Zaxby's. Redeem.
Attention! Listen up. This has gone on way too long. If we're going to win this thing, we've got to go big.
Introducing Zaxby's new signature sandwich with a double hand-breaded filet, split-top bun, and Zax sauce, or new spicy Zax sauce. Only at Zaxby's. Redeem rewards, scan to pay, order ahead on the Zaxby's app.
Those first really chilly days can expose your battery as a no-go weakling. Check the belts, the hoses, the cooling system. Make sure that antifreeze is there. All part of a holiday trip check at Auto Alley. Put your car or truck in the hands of the ASE certified technicians at Auto Alley. And remember, AAA members, show your card and save. At Auto Alley, just west of the Capitol Circle Northwest, 5019 West Tharp. A family trip can be tough enough, right?
Mom, he's touching me.
Hit the road with confidence with service that's right up your alley.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Hey, small business owner, love those hats you wear. CEO, CFO, chief cook, and bottle washer. But when it comes to marketing, you should really try Valpak on for size. We're your local marketing experts and lead Gen A team. Valpak's legendary blue envelope and red hot digital strategies connect you to thousands of local customers, online, on their device, and in their mailbox with real-time performance dashboards. Grow your business the smart way. We tip our hat to local businesses everywhere. Get started today at valpak.com/local.
Hi, I'm Jeff, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches, and I'm here to tell you about our signature Which, the Wicked. Why call it the Wicked? Some say it's wicked tasty, some say it's wicked large. One thing's for sure, with oven-roasted turkey, ham, pepperoni, roast beef, and bacon, as well as your choice of 3 cheeses, it definitely takes you from wicked hungry to wicked happy in just a few wicked good bites. Only at Which Superior Sandwiches.
On Wednesday, the Wicked is just $5. 5 meats, 3 cheeses, $5.
We have Michael Noles.
It's Michael Noles, host of The Michael Noles Show. Conservative pessimists say the world can't get any worse. Conservative optimists say it certainly can. We take a hard look at the tough political realities we face. We take seriously the great debates of our time. And we find the glimmers of light, small though they may be, that keep us encouraged for the future. Join me for The Michael Noles Show right here. I'll see you then.
Michael Noles, weeknights from 5 to 6 p.m. on Real Talk 93.3.
Tallahassee Game Day is brought to you by Zaxby's, the official chicken of sports fans. Tallahassee Zaxby's, proudly supporting Florida State University and Seminole boosters for over 15 years. Now here's Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron and Tom Lang.
Who's hot, who's cold? Brought to you by Barano Heating and Air Conditioning, a longtime friend and partner of the Jeff Cameron Show. Turn to the experts at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning for all your heating and cooling needs. No matter what time of year it is, Barano will always be there for you. Head to BaranoACE.com or call 580-4029.
Yeah, it's been a confusing time for the old air conditioning machine outside the last couple of weeks.
You're like, man, it's a little chilly out. Oh, now it's hot. What are we doing? Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday was actually
operating at peak efficiency, buddy, thanks to Barano.
Or it was Thursday. Thursday was muggy. I was like, what is this?
Yeah. Bryce has gotten to, my son has gotten to a place where he's like, it's supposed to be cold from here on out, Dad. Let's what is this? I'm like, I agree, son.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. I want to walk out and feel that. But what a perfect day for football today.
This is it, man.
Huh?
You don't even need to listen. You're going to have your carrier unit all set from Barano Heating and Air Conditioning, but you don't need that sucker today. You can turn it off. Save yourself a couple of dollars on the bill.
Yeah, that's true. Keir Thomas is hot. Agreed, Ryan. And that was the name I was going to point to before we started the segment. So that is correct. He's been a great player for Florida State. Who's cold?
Oh, man. See, you always put me in the position.
I put you in the position.
Dog somebody.
That's who you are, buddy. Go ahead and be so negative all the time, Tom.
Yeah, that's me. McKenzie Milton. Here's one I'll put out there.
Milton's 40 time.
I'll put out there with
cold.
A caveat. Yes. Oh, my God. We'd still be waiting. Big Bobby Scott. Robert Scott with the injury, man. It's just, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's, he was slated to return to left tackle. It doesn't really work out. He's just somebody who can get beaten on the edge by a speed rush right now because he's not at 100%. So that's something I'm looking for today with Miami's defensive front. We really don't talk about Miami's defensive front at all.
It's not terrible. Their defensive front's pretty good, actually.
Yes.
It's their linebackers that suck. So their defensive front's pretty good.
I'm sure the film says it, but, at some point, if you're a rush end and it's third and obvious, just try a speed rush and see if it works because it might very well on 52. And that's where this group on the offensive line, they just have not been healthy all season long. The flu bug was, the final straw. But all year, since camp, they've been trying to get all five on the field at the same time at 100% or something close to it in November of a college football season. They haven't gotten there.
Yeah.
When they are close to healthy, they can actually move you off the ball every once in a while, which is a foreign thing for Florida State fans.
Atkins does such a good job. Yeah, he really does. I can't say it enough. People have wondered why this group is not better if he's such a good coach. Like, I see sentiments like that. No, man, you're not looking at this properly. That group's not that talented. And they're able to run the ball 6 separate times this year so far through 8 games to the tune of over 200 yards.
Right.
With no threat of a vertical passing game.
Yep.
That is genius coaching. That's high-level stuff, my friend. They do scheme it up. They create the extra gap. They are really good at doing that. If they do that today, Florida State can win.
Well, and that's the stuff with the eye discipline. We talked about it from Miami's offensive perspective and what they do with the gun. But, and again, I use that pun. It's Cam McDonald in the backfield. If he's healthy, he's a really big player in this game because
you and Jalen Knight.
Well, yeah, Jalen Knight, that's right.
Yeah.
It's because of the backside looks on certain plays. So we set things up. And we've got RPO elements. You got the bubbles to the flat, but the receivers, I saw somebody comment that the whole receiver core is cold. Yes, for years and years here in Tallahassee.
They're not cold. They're just not any good.
But if you're looking to isolate and win a matchup and you've got linebackers who are freelancing, like I feel like our offense should be very prepared for this game, given when they go good on good against our defense, they see what our linebackers do, Miami's linebackers
but they don't. But they don't see. Okay.
Yeah, but the point is that Cam McDonald, Will Mallory, the guys in the backfield can make plays because the linebackers are going to lose them. So if you set up things, create the extra gaps with the runs, you show that we can hit those power and counter plays, whatever they call them, then you're also setting up wide open shots to receivers and players underneath too for Jordan Travis. And at times, Jordan Travis and Cam McDonald have had a nice little bit of chemistry this season.
Isolating their linebackers. The game plan is the same, oddly, for 2 different reasons and 2 different skill sets for both offenses. Isolating linebackers is the key to the game today for Florida State, and it's also a key for Florida State's defense today to be better in that area. Now, I don't know that you have the requisite skill to be better in that area.
It's got to be out of the backfield, which is what I'm. I don't know that it's a seam pass, but they have schemed those things open. The other thing is, if you do that, and it is Jordan Wilson releasing into a route, who's staying in to block? And if nobody's staying in to block, how long can you block it up?
Not long.
There was a play against North Carolina in the red zone where Travis had enough time, but barely enough time, and he missed Wilson. He ended up hitting Cam McDonald on a throw in the red zone, gets us to a 1st and goal. But those kinds of things are going to be open if you can hold for long enough. And the good thing that's happened, here's another player who's hot today. Darius Washington has turned into a legitimate tackle.
It's pretty funny.
We have a legitimate tackle here for the first time since who? Big Rod Johnson?
Big Rod Johnson. Yeah. And
isn't that something?
It's a miracle. It makes me want to weep. I haven't seen tackle play at Florida State on the offensive side in years. And now that you see it pretty consistently, he's a nice player. He's your best offensive lineman.
Currently? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's better than Smith. He's better than
Tim and Gibbons on that left side.
Well, Gibbons is good. Yeah. Gibbons is key to today. As we said in the first hour, if he doesn't play, we don't win. Period. I mean, I hate to say that. It's just true. For all the angles we create, it involves pulling.
Well, and that's another thing to look at, too. When he does pull, how healthy is he? Because the injury from a couple of weeks ago was he got rolled up on, right? So, that can affect your agility and your second step as you're trying to get to a spot. So when he does pull, is he catching a block or is he delivering a blow? Because we're catching blocks when he's not in the game.
No, there's no doubt. It's critical today that you look out there, you gaze upon that glorious field, Bobby Bowden Field, Doak Campbell Stadium. When you watch warm-ups, how are we looking up front? We got the 5. We got the 5. We got the 5 that can win. Got those 5. Let's play ball.
Cannot stress it enough.
Don't have those 5. Watch a movie. I mean, I'm just saying. I think it's that simple. I mean, got those 5. Let's roll, baby. Let's go.
Pissed off one of the chickens. He's mad at you.
Don't have those 5. What haven't you seen that you've been wanting to see?
What haven't I in general?
That's it's not a question. It's rhetorical. Okay. That's where we're at.
I was going to say,
what do you want to see?
A punt return for over 10 yards. That's what I want to see.
Have you seen Dune yet? Have you seen Dune?
I saw Dune.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was it good?
It was a lot.
Oh, you didn't like it?
I don't know.
Hey, here's the thing, though. It's because it's the first of like the next 5. Like there's a bunch they're setting up for.
Yeah. So the
in
problem.
That sense, you like it.
I love that we pivoted to this. All right. I'll get into it.
This is what you do, everybody. If you gaze upon that field and the starting 5 isn't there, you contemplate watching Dune. It's a long movie. Hopefully, you got a great TV.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
You need a great TV. It's strikingly beautiful. It's a gorgeous looking movie. The thing is, when some of the key people, and this happens in every movie, so it's not a spoiler. When some of the key people died, I didn't feel anything. You're supposed to feel something when somebody goes, even if it's the first time you meet them in a movie.
You didn't care about him,
man. When Obi-Wan gets a little gankety gank from Vader in the first Star Wars, you feel bad because he's trying to take this kid under his wing.
No, his
aunt and uncle just got burned alive, and it's like, who's left? But they're like, wait, there's no body there, so there's some hope. I don't know what the hell's going on, but you still feel very sad. I didn't feel sad in Dune.
You took it. That's good. All right, I get it.
That's what I do.
Character development was terrible. Got it. All right, that's all right. But visually, it's beautiful.
And it was a fun movie,
yeah,
too.
And if, you don't feel like watching today because the starting 5 aren't out there on the offensive line, we just set it up for you, buddy. Watch you some Dune. I would actually tell you if you want to go that genre, a more important and better film and a better written and well-acted film would be Gattaca. Tallahassee GameDay continues in a moment.
Make this summer spectacular.
Imagine a salad made with only the freshest vegetables, with grilled or hand-breaded chicken, and topped with Southwest Ranch dressing. Big enough to fill you up without weighing you down. Made to order, when you order, in that order. Try our new Southwest salad with fire-roasted corn, tomatoes, and crispy tortilla strips. Just one of our made-to-order salads, only at Zaxby's. Redeem rewards, scan to pay, order ahead on the Zaxby's app.
Attention! It's enough. This has gone on way too long. If we're going to win this thing, we've got to go big.
Introducing Zaxby's new signature sandwich with a double hand-breaded filet, split top bun, and Zax sauce, or new spicy Zax sauce. Only at Zaxby's. Redeem rewards, scan to pay, order ahead on the Zaxby's app.
In advance, and Tallahassee nurseries will keep it watered and maintained until you're ready for pickup.
And divvy up custom and creative sock designs that make the perfect stocking stuffer or secret Santa gifts. And for every pair of socks you buy, another pair of socks is donated to help the homeless in need. 'Tis the season to love your local. Find a full list of participating local businesses to love at oevforbusiness.org.
That's oevforbusiness.org.
Hi, Chris Kraft for the Kraft Brothers dealerships. We've experienced a couple of blockbuster months recently. What does that mean to you? It means we have a whole lot of quality pre-owned vehicles. And just when there are rumors about high prices on pre-owned cars, you guessed it. At Kraft Nissan and Infiniti, we are discounting every single pre-owned car, truck, and SUV on our lot. Instead of Dad dreaming of a new truck or SUV, why not bring him out to the Kraft Brothers lot on Mahan Drive to look at SUVs and trucks? Match what he wants. Kraft Pre-Owned has dozens of Toyotas, some Ford F-150s, and Ram 1500s. And of course, we have a big supply of Infiniti and Nissan vehicles. If we don't have what you're looking for, we will do our level best to find the car you want. Let other dealers charge you too much for pre-owned cars. Kraft Nissan and Infiniti are saying right now is the best time of the year to save on a quality pre-owned vehicle. Kraft Nissan and Infiniti of Tallahassee on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. And remember, if the car you are looking for doesn't have the Kraft tag on it, you'll pay too much, way too much.
Lane's Medical Shop is proud to announce the opening of their newest location at 800 North Wiley Avenue in Donaldsonville. Lane's Medical Shop, Southwest Georgia's oldest running durable medical equipment provider, specializing in home medical equipment. They accept and file most insurances, including Medicare and United Healthcare and many more. Lane's Medical Shop, locations now in Colquitt and Donaldsonville. Stop by and see owner Blake Wammel and staff, or call 758-9111 in Colquitt or 524-1292 in Donaldsonville.
You work hard, so you deserve the good things in life, like getting an amazing deal on awesome internet. That's why there's never been a better time to switch to Xfinity. Get the fast and reliable internet you deserve for $20 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for the first time ever, ask how to get 12 times the speed for the same internet price when you add Xfinity Mobile. Just imagine faster downloads, more streaming. The possibilities are endless. That's more speed, and you'll save hundreds over AT&T. Plus, ask how to get an eligible 5G phone on us for a limited time, $300 back. So what are you waiting for? Sign up now because you deserve awesome internet. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay. Ends 11/21/21. Restrictions apply. New performance starter internet 50 megabits per second customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. After term, regular rates apply. Compares monthly service charge for Xfinity 600 megabits per second and AT&T 500 megabits per second each, with one unlimited mobile line for a year as of 10/6/21. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes of mobile usage.
Tallahassee Game Day is brought to you by Zaxby's, the official chicken of sports fans. Tallahassee Zaxby's, proudly supporting Florida State University and Seminole boosters for over 15 years. Now here's Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron and Tom Lang.
Yay, Zaxby's. We just got done eating some here in these parts. That's what we did. I'm getting confirmation. Yeah, it's a possibility. I'm hearing that Emmett Rice plays today, everybody. Maybe back on the field today. Hey, listen, you can't overstate that, but I mean, in the sense that how much can he really do since it's been a long time since he stepped on the field, but he's infinitely superior in diagnoses than what we currently have.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what he'll do.
He'll put you in the right position.
Exactly. The defensive line in front of him, the linebacker next to him, he'll get your ass in the right spot.
That's correct.
And so you don't have to think about that anymore. That has been, it's funny. Sometimes you see things in camp practices that don't, present themselves during the season at all. For example, Stanford Samuels III being a lockdown corner. Didn't see that in the regular season. Saw it a bunch in camp.
Yeah.
One thing I did see in fall camp that has just been a problem this whole season, the communication pre-snap from linebacker to linebacker. We've got guys who are specialists at what they do. Lundy's got some get up to him, and he's mostly in front of him, kind of a player.
Oh, yeah, he's downhill run stopper, yes.
And he's got the body type for it. Deloach is a little bit better in coverage, but
much better.
when they're lining up pre-snap, I remember seeing it multiple days in camp where they were either late getting into where they needed to be and Fuller would chew them out, or they were just freelancing because they didn't know what they were doing. And it's clear that they were coached up to do everything right. It's just something doesn't click when the ball is snapped. And that's been the case every week. Now, Emmett Rice on the field, even if it's for 15 snaps, you're going to be where you're supposed to be for those 15 snaps. That's great. So hopefully he plays.
Emmett Rice is a good football player. That's the best way to describe him. Is he an elite athlete? No. Is he a difference maker?
He can't get to the point where he needs to get sometimes.
Right.
It's just
right.
But he's everything that this culture wants to be.
And he's a good football player.
And he was last year.
Yes, he was. Listen, this is a big deal to get him back. Now that I'm not told, excuse me, voice is leaving me here.
Well, Emmett Rice makes me emotional too.
I'm just pumped about the game. I don't know how many snaps he'll play today, but I am hearing that he is available today. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's it. He'll be in pads.
That's
today.
A little bit of a nugget for you on a Zaxby's Tallahassee game day.
Yeah,
right?
man, I'm pumped up. Yeah. Hearing he's available today. So let's knock on wood that he goes out and plays well.
And I'll give you a chance to catch your breath a little bit there because when you get a frog in your throat in this business, there is nothing worse. But our sincere thanks to our sponsors, Danny and the folks at Zaxby's, for bringing this program to you all season long. Without sponsors like Zaxby's, we wouldn't be able to do these types of things. Our thanks also to our friends, John, and the folks here at Real Talk 93.3. This is our first year doing Tallahassee Game Day at this frequency on this home radio station. So we're thankful to both of those people who are monumentally important in making this happen all season long. But once again, to Danny, appreciate you, man, because those platters, did they bring a second one today? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, we got a second one. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm ready to get after it, actually, as soon as we get done with the show. Yeah.
My wife's out for a wedding this week. When she comes back, she's going to be just floored.
Zaxby's
she loves her some Zaxby's chicken fingers. She will violate her principles for Zaxby's chicken fingers.
Today's game day predictions are brought to you by Lane's Medical Shop with locations in Colquitt and Donaldsonville. Lane's Medical Shop offers all your medical supply needs. They even have delivery and emergency services available. Lane's Medical Shop, 229-758-9111. Tell them I sent you, as well as warchant.com. And you'll get half off. Hey, now. Doing some things at Lane's.
Chop that thing in half for you.
Woo!
Put that price right in half.
All right, so we segued to that element of the show, game predictions.
Pain.
Okay, Mr. T. I'm going to go high scoring, volatile, real high highs, real low lows. I feel like that's what today is.
Oh,
Today's like, are you effing kidding me? Followed by, you beautiful SOB. That's today's game.
And that's it? You're not making a pick?
Oh, I'll make a pick, but we got like 9 minutes left in the show. So,
all right. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's you watch this Miami offense, and we talked about the two principal figures. We haven't talked a lot about Rambo, but to me, Knighton stands out on film more than Rambo does.
But Van Dyke opened up what Rambo is.
Correct.
He didn't have that with King. And it's funny, we go, and I'll let you make your point. I apologize for interrupting, but I, at the beginning of the year, we were talking about the college football season, and we were talking about what was possible for, obviously, Florida State, but we looked around the ACC and we looked around the country. And, of course, Miami had that game against Alabama, and we knew that Alabama would just brutalize Miami because the two programs are in worlds apart. And one of the things that I said was, well, I don't care about the result because I already know what it is. Alabama wins and wins big. What I care to see is De'Ara King any good, because they love that guy, and I always thought he kind of sucked as a player in general. And so I thought, well, let's see if he's any good and or is he healthy at all to start the year. My hope was that he would be, because I wanted them to have to start him all year long. Now, I didn't know what they had at backup. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know that there was somebody waiting in the wings that would be infinitely superior to King. Turns out, unfortunately, there is. But I wanted him to play because he's not good. And we go back and we think about those early season games. They did not click in the passing game. It was so frustrating if you're a Miami fan to watch, and that's because King's terrible. And what you have instead now is a legitimate passer, a legitimate quarterback, and it's opened up these receivers, and it's especially opened up Rambo.
Well, I'm sure it's taken the pressure and the awkwardness in that locker room completely out of the equation. I mean, you could see the belief building in both phases of the game because a quarterback can do that for a program. But obviously, Rambo is going to make plays today because our secondary is suspect. I don't know that it's anything to do with him being potentially special.
No, but I think
he's a good player.
He's a good player, yeah.
But I think he's talked about like he's, a burgeoning first-round pick and going to be, a week in, week out NFL performer at 100 yards a clip or something like that. I don't know.
I don't think he's that, but I think he's a good receiver.
He's a good player. Restrepo is the guy they go to in key situations. That guy makes a lot of tough catches. And then Knighton is the one that, man, if you make a mistake, he changes the scoreboard.
Luckily, he puts the ball on the ground, too.
But the overriding point here, when you're talking about predictions, that offense throws haymakers. That's all it does. Haymakers left and right. He throws for the downs every play. Jalen Knighton tries to score every play. They're going to do so. It's just a matter of how much. If you can hold them to a couple of explosives where they actually score a touchdown on the play and you play good red zone defense, this is a classic case today for both defenses of 3-7. When you get into the red zone, can you shut it down and force a 37-yard field goal, a 24-yard field goal, whatever it is? Can you shut the opposing offense down in situations? Because I think 20-20, both offenses can move the ball. I feel better about Miami moving the ball than Florida State, but we'll see how healthy we are and who's out there on the pregame warm-ups.
I feel good about us moving the ball if we're able to run. I mean, if you run the ball, you'll hold the possession of the football for longer and keep him off the field, control time of possession. And if you amass 200 yards rushing, Florida State has a really good chance of winning. If they don't, they lose, period. I mean, it's a pretty simple, straightforward assessment of a game. That's true of Florida State every week, by the way. It's not unique to Miami. We know this. Bottom line is, whether you're facing an explosive offense or not, if Florida State can't run the football, they're going to lose the game because they sure as hell aren't going to throw it. So that's where we're at.
So let me ask you this. I've made the point a couple of times today where I wouldn't be shocked if either team wins by multiple scores. Do you feel that way, or do you think that Florida State can only win if it's a close game? Is it that type of thing where they've got to do everything right in order to eke out a close victory?
No, it's a weird game. Okay, so we had a couple of games this year where any result wouldn't surprise you. So
right.
That's very rare. Normally we say things like, well, Florida State can win a close game or they'll get blown out. That too often is the way we describe these games. We never say Florida State's going to blow somebody out unless it's UMass. I mean, like, we don't ever think Florida State's capable of blowing anybody out.
Right.
So, because they're just not skilled enough. So one thing I would say about this game is I would actually not be surprised by any result. Florida State loses 48-17. Wouldn't shock me. It'd be terrible. I'd hate it. It'd make me upset. Wouldn't be shocked, though. I wouldn't be like, oh, my God, I didn't see that coming. Florida State wins 34-10. Wouldn't be shocked.
Well, that would be three picks from Van Dyke.
Well, that'd be a couple of picks, and you run the ball. And so you shorten the game. That's what that would be. You shorten the game.
Right,
and he throws a couple of interceptions.
And a couple of 6-minute drives or something like that.
Shorten the game.
Where it's clear the defense doesn't want to be there after a certain point.
Right. They call it a day. Yeah. Wouldn't shock me is my point while we're going through the scenarios. Wouldn't shock me. Now, would I be pleasantly surprised if Florida State dominated this game? Yeah, sure. I'd be pleasantly surprised. Florida State's an underdog for a reason. Miami's a better football team. I've mentioned that before. I think they're actually significantly better than Florida State. I actually believe that. I think that's player for player, primarily because they have a passing quarterback. We don't. They have real receivers. We don't. That is a very big difference in the two teams.
They've got balance on offense. We don't. But their biggest weakness on defense is our biggest strength on offense. So that's where the matchup makes it interesting.
They give up explosive plays, too. It's weird. It's kind of funny. You never get mad about a long touchdown run. But if your defense is not getting stops, you kind of go, well,
right.
I would have liked that to have been a 10-play drive.
What's interesting is, so I look at the Pitt game for Miami. I've talked about that a bunch where it's an outlier, but it's enough for me to go, if they choose to, it is in them to stop the run. They can tackle better. They can play better than they have the rest of the season. That is in them. The 35-7 run against North Carolina is in us as well. So if I'm a Miami fan looking at, well, what could Florida State bring to the table? I know what they are, what their season resume says when Jordan Travis plays, but that would at least concern me that after 10-0 in the first quarter, Florida State just put it on North Carolina.
It's the only game this year we did that, though.
But it is, if you're looking for health and trends, right? The health got in the way of the trend against North Carolina. We weren't 100% against Clemson. The more you hear about that game, the more you hear that some key position players were not 100%
correct
playing on the road.
And they had a chance to win.
So the last time that you've played against a Power 5 opponent where you've been at full strength was the North Carolina game, and a lot of these similar elements are here for this one. Miami's got better receivers than North Carolina does, more of them. Josh Downs is a great player, but Miami's got more weapons, and they've got a quarterback with a better arm. But defensively and offensively, if you look at North Carolina and Miami, this is a similar type game against a similarly talented opponent, and we put it on North Carolina in their building. So that's in us. It's possible.
Yeah, against the defense that doesn't like to tackle and it, at times is optional, sure, it's in us. Yeah, I won't disagree with that. I don't think it's likely, though, as far as scenarios go. But at the end of the day, have you come around? Have you come around, buddy? I know you had Miami relatively big earlier in the week. You think it's a close game now?
Well, it was based on health, and then Jordan missed Sunday and Monday, and then he came back. So somebody's asking earlier, is Jordan Travis healthy? Yeah, they put him before the media on Wednesday. They feel good about him. Yeah.
If Florida State's healthy, that's a big if. If the offensive line, the 5 that we need, and the 5, if they're healthy and Jordan Travis feels good, he's full strength, Florida State has a chance to win today. You hope the home field, you hope the emotion of the day, something big happens that carries us over. I took Florida State earlier in the week. Maybe I'm hoping against hope. I took us 31-30. Your prediction, sir?
I'll stick with the prediction because it's a coin flip. And I said earlier in the week, 31-20 Miami. Hope I'm dead wrong. And if I am, I will eat that crow on the post-game show,
which you can tune into on Warchant TV later today. That sounds good. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Be well. Go Noles. And we'll talk to you later.